Hi everyone. Most cyclists really believe that using lane 2 to overtake them is always the best option, but this viewer's clip clearly shows that this isn't always the safest choice. It looks as though our camera is driving quite a large vehicle because of the height. They give good space to the pedestrians on the left by taking up the straddle position. And they also do a great job of spotting the cyclist up the road really early. And they decide to move to lane 2, but this is where the danger happens. As you can see, it encourages people to undertake you. I can clearly see why cyclists do want people to pass them in that opposing lane sometimes, or lane 2, but you can see that it can actually cause dangers. Luckily, in the lesson that I recently did with one of my students, Ellie, who you may be familiar with, we came across this same sort of scenario. What's your thoughts for the cyclist, Ellie? Okay, now what I want you to do is try and get half and half straddle, so we'll need to signal. Can't just move out, Ellie. We'll need to signal, definitely. Good. Now, go half and half on the road, cancel the signal, check them out, and then come back. Alright? So really all you're doing is borrowing a little bit of that other space in that lane. So no worries with that, that's all good. He was nice and appreciative of my thumbs up as well, wasn't he?
He gave you one back.
He gave me one back, which was all cool. So yeah, going back to what I was saying, some cyclists do prefer you to use lane 2 fully. So in other words, rather than us just moving out to that straddle position, as I called it, they'd prefer you to go out fully and then back in, which I can see that it gives them more space. However, can you think of any scenario where that probably wouldn't be very good? Think of especially that dual carriageway.
If you're turning left.
If you're turning left, well, if you were turning left, do you think you would overtake that cyclist in the first place? No. All right.
If there was busy cars everywhere.
Busy cars everywhere. It was pretty busy then, and it's one of the reasons why I told you to take that straddle position as well. I'll talk about it in a second. At these lights, we are going to turn left, please, Ellie. Okay, lovely. Sound. So, you think I've got you to overtake a cyclist but not go all the way out into that further lane, and there's reasoning behind it as well. It's not just because we're just trying to just give the cyclist just enough and we don't want to give them more. If you move fully into the right lane and people don't see, go on.
They might not think that you're going back.
Right. And they may think that you've moved to that right lane to turn right, maybe a little bit further up. Would that then cause them to undertake us and come through on the left-hand side? And what if they didn't see the cyclist? Would that put them then in danger? Okay. So would staying in that straddle position actually protect the cyclist a little bit also?
Because it's like there's something there that we're trying to move past, so watch out for that.
Yes. So can you see where I'm coming from? Some cyclists do take that mindset of you should always pass in lane 2. Not always. If there's room and there's no one else about, there it would have been good just to go lane 2, give them all the space, no other issues. But what happened there and what we did, it was important to do what we did. Okay? Good job. This next part of the video happened later on in the same lesson. Is it worth going back into the left lane now? No.
No. I wrote
Cyclist, I'm thinking. Yeah. But have you noticed what this van has done to the left because you were here in the middle. He's done exactly what I was talking about using straddle. Get going and past him, Ellie. Get going. Because of his lack of planning. Good. What about after the cyclist? What should we do? Good. Good. And it totally shows exactly what I was talking about earlier on, doesn't it? Yeah? Where people will think just because you're in that middle lane, it's fine to undertake.
Yeah.
But if you took up a straddle position there, do you think the van would have even done that? No. Perfect then, isn't it? Yeah? That's point proved, isn't it? It's funny how we do things like that, and then the same scenario happens a little bit later on in the lesson, isn't it? Must be psychic. And that also, sorry, what were you going to say?
There he is.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I was going to go and say as well, Ellie. That it shows you sometimes that it's little use of going past the cyclist, because they'll always catch you up, especially when we're sat at lights.
He's just wiggling his way through everywhere.
That's right, yeah. Which he's totally fine doing. Right, so let's have a little look at this one. We're going to use the space this time, but straddle it. So have a look. Yeah, we do need to ask, and when's a good time that we can head out? There, so move away, but slightly straddle, but be to that side a little bit more. Give them a little more room, especially because of the cone. There you go. So that's great, because you've given plenty of room. Now check, now you can come back. Do you understand? So our position was a tell to the others as well, wasn't it? That there's still there's an issue there. We're just getting round it rather than just using that lane fully. Perfect. But what's he going to do now? He'll just catch us up anyway, won't he? Now, we weren't going this way, but we are now. That's all right. No, it's totally fine. No issues. No issues. Well, The advice I gave Ellie is good advice, but I doubt there are many drivers out there who gave a thought to this when they're overtaking a cyclist. My main point, as always, is always give cyclist space, a minimum of 1.5 metres if you're travelling up to 30 miles an hour. If you've got more room, do so. But just remember, the cyclists out there, when someone doesn't give you that whole lane, sometimes they're looking out for you more than you realise. Keep safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.